Okay, so this is my prediction for the TV series All American, which is currently on season 5. And for those of you that just started watching the show recently, the show is loosely based on the life of Spencer Paysinger, who played in the NFL for 6 years. And for the past 5 seasons, he's been a co producer and also an actor on the show. Also, I use the term loosely because everything that you see on the show did not happen to the real Spencer in real life. Let me give you a few examples. Now, in real life, his name is Spencer Paysinger, but on the show, his name is Spencer James. In real life, he played linebacker. To my understanding, he played linebacker his whole career, but on the show, he's a wide receiver. In real life, he was never involved in any gang-related activities, any shootings or anything like that. Like, he's never been shot before. But on the show, Spencer gets shot, and then you see him going through recovery and all that stuff. His biological father is alive and well, but on the show they made it seem like his father had this lifelong illness, and then one day they were together and they were about to leave town, and then right out the blue he just died. Now don't get me wrong, I thought it was a very powerful scene. I thought the actor that plays Spencer, Daniel Ezra, I thought he did a great job. He's a good actor, but I guess my point is that never happened in real life, so that's not true. So another thing that you have to understand. All of the changes that they're making on the show is more for entertainment purposes. Like they're doing things, they're adding more drama and all this stuff on the show, whatever, to make the show more entertaining to watch, but then also to draw in a bigger audience. But unfortunately, since Billy Baker was killed off the show, Taye Diggs' character, I honestly think that season 6 will probably be the last season. I don't know for sure. Like I said, I'm not a writer on the show. I'm not a producer or anything. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I just think, the energy on the show is different now, and just the whole vibe is different, because I feel like if you see the rest of it, I don't really, in my mind or whatever, I can't see like the rest of the main characters on the show pushing forward without the one person that was keeping this whole All American universe together. If you think about it, he was pretty much the glue. He had like Taye Diggs' character, he just had these personal relationships with every main character on the show. So I just don't see how it could possibly work unless maybe they start introducing new characters or something. They would have to, I don't like I said, it's still in season 5. I'm saying, and I know there's a season 6 is supposed to come out next year. So I'm not really sure what to happen. I mean, the only thing I could think of, they might at some point they might start introducing new characters, and that could make things a little more interesting, or like his wife, for example. I think maybe at some point they could. I mean, right now everybody's still grieving. Everybody's still going through the grieving process because of the loss, and they're dealing with it in their own way. So I think maybe at some point they could introduce a new character, and they might give his wife a new love interest. That could potentially happen. That was a thought of mine when I watched the last episode. That could happen. She might meet some guy or whatever, and they start dating and they fall in love, and they kind of go through that whole dating process. That could make things a little more interesting if people want to see that. But I don't know. I guess we just kind of have to just wait and see. Based on what I was reading online, the decision to leave the show was it was Taye Diggs' idea. Like he wanted to leave the show, and they started discussing it in season 4. And I guess between him and the producers, they were waiting for the right moment for his character to exit the show, but they needed it to make sense. You know what I mean? And I guess like after they reviewed everything, this was the only way that he could exit the show, and the whole situation just makes sense. Because obviously, he's not going to take a job at some other school and then move away and just abandon his wife and his family. You know what I mean? So I guess it wouldn't make sense for him to just stay alive and accept his job and just go off to a whole nother city and just take on this whole new job and just, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I guess to them, that just didn't make sense. And I guess this felt like the right moment for him to exit the show. To him, it just made sense. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to go on to pursue other career options or something. I don't know. Maybe, I know he's doing more film, so maybe that might have something to do with it, or maybe it's just some other personal reasons that we don't know about. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But they did say that there's a chance that he could possibly come back in future episodes. And I was a little curious about that too. The only thing that I could think of, they're gonna bring him back in like a spiritual form. You know what I mean? Like maybe like kind of like I used to watch a TV show called Rescue Me, starring Dennis Leary. and he was like a New York City firefighter. And with him, it was kind of like he was going through depression or he was sad about something. He would constantly have like these spiritual encounters with loved ones that he lost in the past, like his cousin and his best friend. He would just, I don't know, it was almost like this angel on his shoulder or something like that. Whenever he was going through some kind of emotional state or whatever, like he would just turn around and he would just be sitting right next to him. You know what I mean? And he started having like these conversations with the spiritual form of his cousin, his best friend. But then also he would also see other friends and I guess like coworkers or just people throughout his life that he lost, that he loved and he lost. That's the only thing I can think of. You know what I mean? They might bring the Billy Baker character back and have him do the exact same thing. He might come back in the spiritual form and he's still communicating with his wife and his kids and Spencer and everyone else. He just had like these personal relationships with when he was still alive. That's the only thing that I can think of that makes sense. I've seen other TV shows do the exact same thing. So I'm guessing that could happen, but I don't know for sure. Like I said, I'm just guessing.